Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Rebels, Season 4, Episodes 7 and 8, Kindred and Crawler Commanders. I'm your host Cleo, with me I have John and Sam.
Hello.
These episodes were so good.
They were.
I was about to
They're
say
very
this episode, but it's these episodes. And I like how it started, because it was just Kanan meditating again. And Hera comes up to talk to him, and he's like, no. It's not just that this is Ezra's home. It's not just that he keeps wanting to come back. It's we keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
There were other missions, but we kept coming to Lothal.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was great. And I'm going to jump around a lot today because I'm just so excited to talk about this episode. But later it's the Loth Wolf who calls for him specifically.
right.
Yeah.
And there's something Kanan needs to know. Something on this planet. Something hidden.
Yeah.
I love it, the Force!
Yeah. Well, Kanan can sense something is happening, something's coming together, and then later on, when they're like trapped and the Wolves are going to lead them out, if they can see them, it's Kanan who they need to come forward and like figure that out. And there's a part in there specifically, I'll wait to talk about it, but I was like, did anybody else notice this thing? So I thought it was super cool. But
Yeah, I've just been like having my fingers crossed. I'm like, Grey Jedi Temple somewhere?
somewhere.
Force neutral something somewhere?
Oh, that's boring. You guys gotta go hard like me. I'm like,
What?
is it Master Deppa? Is she a wolf now?
That's what I thought that too when we found out that was his name that it was saying. I was like, Master?
For like a hot second too, because I was like, oh, I thought that too, but I was like, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
no, it's just...
I mean, your thing makes more sense, but I'd like to make less sense.
Well, no, I mean, we're talking about like, the influence of like, we like the idea of like the Force as just a thing, and then the Force in nature, Force in animals. Is reincarnation possible? We were talking about that even way back with like Ahsoka, and we see like the owl or thing fly off
Yeah.
before when she might have been killed. We don't know, so there's all those questions that are left open. So maybe this, I thought the same thing basically. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh wait, does this wolf know him? Is this a reincarnation of somebody who knows him? I was like, oh, it's very interesting.
And I mean, we know from the end of Clone Wars that Force ghosting, that's not the right term, but whatever, you have that's a skill you have to learn before your death.
Yes, it is.
You have to train to learn that before your death.
Before you die, yeah.
But maybe dead spirits who are one with the Force can communicate through animals. That there's no evidence of it, but there's no evidence against it.
Against it either, I know. This would be their first kind of foray into that kind of thing, which I think would be very cool. Because yes, as far as the Force ghosting is concerned, you have to know how to do it before you die.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and there's something special about the white Loth Wolf, because the gray ones growl every time they walk past them. The white one does not. And the white one,
There's
so
a
far as
black
we've
one,
heard,
too.
actually says words.
yeah. Just like the white loft cat, there's one in particular, and if they follow it, they usually get to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
There's that as well.
Yeah. So in the beginning of the episode, we get the assassin, Rook.
Yeah.
He was very interesting. I did not expect him to look like that, and the way he moves too is just very frightening.
Funny thing is, this is the first time he's actually ever been like officially drawn or animated. because he was only ever spoken about in the old Legends Thrawn trilogy. So there were varying designs for him. So this is the first time I ever actually had to nail it down. So they went with like a very animalistic kind of look and feel. They did say in Rebels Recon that originally his nose was a lot brighter and he looked too cute.
Aww.
So they had to make his nose dark so he looked less cute.
He's very scary. They nailed it. So we you know, Governor Price has failed. She fucked up, and Thrawn clearly doesn't trust her. He's sending his own agent. And she's like, "Oh, you don't need to send help." It's like, bitch, I think I do.
Yeah, it's like the fact that they got away and they got away with our prototype proves otherwise. So yes, I will send somebody to take care of a specific thing, and that's how I'm going to have it done, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
John, I have a question for you. What kind of ship did Rook fly in on? Because it looked like a shuttle, but it had like wings around it like a TIE fighter. What the fuck was that? I was like, what are you?
Those are just troop transport shuttles. They've been using them for a while on Lothal. Yeah.
I don't recognize it. I guess maybe I'm looking at ships more closely now, and I've only just recognized it.
Yeah, you've been seeing them since they got back to Lothal. Those are the same. It was the same thing that Zeb stole.
Okay.
Yeah.
transport like that? Oh, okay.
Is that what you're talking about? I mean, that's what I thought.
What Rook landed in.
I'd have to see a picture.
Okay.
I actually don't remember.
Alright, I didn't prepare a picture either, so I'm no help, but it looked like... I don't know what it looked like, but I was just like, what kind of ship is that? It was not the thing that Zeb took. I guess I'll have to find a picture later. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was a ship that was on screen for about 5 seconds.
Well, it's similar to what Zeb like kind of stole, commandeered, but that was like a ground transport. Mm-hmm. What they had was like aerial ones, which I wasn't familiar with those things either. It looked like an aerial transport, and it's almost like a helicopter. It makes that sound. And I was like, I don't know what the hell these things are, and I've never seen them in any other universe except for right now. So I was kind of curious about what they were as well, but I don't. Beyond that, the fact that they were like a modification of like the transports that they use in the Clone Wars, where it's like, you know, when they're in the Clone Wars battle and they land like that, so it's like an open transport, but like it is closed up. That's the only thing it reminded me of. So I have no idea beyond that, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. But it's more closed up than that thing was. So
I just looked. I just found a clip. No, it is the same. It's the same transport.
It is? Oh.
You were looking at it from a weird angle. That camera angle was just only showing the door opening up. That's the same ship.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah. Question answered.
Like, I wouldn't have thought that's the same thing either. I was like, oh, one's for the ground, one's for the air. At the end, you know, not that it's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think those transport ships could break atmosphere for what it's worth.
So. Yeah, no.
Probably not.
Either. I did like the fact that Zeb just like kind of like he's like, I'm gonna just do what I want, and he's like, well, all right, I'll do this, and we'll take it. Bye.
I'm gonna take this. Bye.
And neglect to tell my friends what I'm driving.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oops.
Ryder almost shot him in the head. Oh god.
I know. Like, he's like, oh, I guess I should have said something. Yep.
I have to say, Ryder had the line of the season. How have you people stayed alive this long?
Yeah. I love that. That's right. I know. I was going to forget it. How have you stayed alive this long? I was dying laughing. I was like, oh my god, it's so true.
Because that was
true.
like,
bring that up.
When it gets weird, you know it's working, and he's just like, what?
What do you mean? He's like,
we're following a wolf. What?
No, but I totally agree with John. It's like, how do people stay alive this long? Oh my god, It's so true. They do it so haphazard. It's great. I love it.
Ryder's the realest motherfucker in these episodes. It's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Guy knows what's up.
Yeah. I also love that Zeb was one-handed holding the warp drive. What warp drive?
Hyperdrive?
Hyperdrive. Not Star Trek. Star Wars.
Wrong drive. It's okay.
He was one-handed holding that, which is heavy as hell, and hanging from a cliff, and Price and her little stormtrooper group didn't even look up.
Yeah, he's like, I got it.
It reminded me of playing Assassin's Creed 3 and being in the trees and them not seeing me. Like, that's what that reminded me of. It's like, you're kind of dumb, aren't you?
Yep.
They're not paid to look up.
No.
They're only paid to chase cats into the desert
Yep.
for inordinate amounts of time.
I like to think that those two got back and they got court-martialed.
I like to think they never stopped chasing the cat.
You know what? That's a better, it's a better headcanon.
I forgot about that.
To this day, they're still chasing that cat.
Still chasing that cat.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Could be.
So Kaden and Hera have more serious times discussions. And they had to just sneak in another like non-kiss. They couldn't help themselves. They just had to do it.
I appreciated just the fact that I was like, are we reading this again? Okay, fine. It's a kid's show. And then they just came back right away and just like, oh, she kissed. So I was like, thank you. I appreciate me not having to like wait time for this and like, oh, you're gonna play upon the whole thing. I don't know. I just like that they just did it. I was like, thank you.
And
Let's not delete this.
Yeah, and that almost kiss had to happen for Kanan to be like, oh, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't, and for Hera to just be like, shut up and kiss me.
It's fine.
Shut up, I'm kissing you. It's fine.
It's all good.
I love you, you dumbass.
It's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you pronounce
Doom.
Doom.
Which I felt real dumb when the White Lothwolf said Doom, and he's like, that's my name. And I was like, oh, because we've been pronouncing it different.
As soon as the wolf said it to him, I said, oh, fuck. And then Kanan said it, and I was just like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no, I know. Because the wolf said it, and I was like, he did say Doom, I'm not crazy. But it's not Doom, it's his name, Doom.
D-U-M-E.
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's funny because I was just rereading the Kanan comics I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was just rereading them because they're so good. And I'm like, I think that's why I actually realized it this time. Because
you just read it, yeah.
A guy, Wolf said the thing. I want to know what it means.
It means Kanan's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And the wolf, that's the wolf.
Has that question for him. He's like, so you were saying all roads like converge, we're on the right path or whatever. He said, yeah. I don't know what it is, but we're there. We're getting there. We'll figure it out. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Yes.
Ahsoka's in the Grey Jedi Temple on Lothal. Like,
yes, she is.
There you go.
She's alive.
Easy.
Easy.
Is it bad then in the 2 episodes ago where it was like the wolf and then the Lothcat comes above it like this? I was like, Ahsoka because of this, and I was like, oh no, it's just the Lothcat, and I should have known better. But I was like, I saw this, and I thought it was her Leku, and I was like, oh god, is it her? No, not yet, not yet. Too soon, but yeah.
We're going through these 2 episodes, and I was just like, where's Ahsoka?
I know.
It's getting late.
With all of the animal symbolism and the fact that Dave Filoni holds that very close to his heart, and he shows multiple sketches of Ahsoka mounted on a white wolf and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the white wolf! So I was thinking, maybe we'll see some of her. Not quite yet. So I appreciated it taking time and separating everything. Yes, sketches up. I was like, yes, what's happening? So.
Yeah, and I feel like we're not done on Lothal. Obviously, we have battles to fight here still, and there's time. There's time for Ahsoka to show up riding the White Lothwolf. There's time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I'll die. I'll be like, blah!
Yeah.
Anyway.
There have been shows that have made me throw myself off the couch. I don't know if this one has done it yet. I don't know if I've done that for this show yet.
This me cry. This was me cry like big time.
Oh my god. Forget it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely cried big time. I was like,
Oh, well, what killed me was when, like, Kanan said, "Don't worry, I'll see you again."
Oh god, and he did it!
God, that still hurts.
It's not cute, Dave Filoni. It's not cute.
It's not funny.
I see what
You're
you
not
did
funny.
there, and it's not cool.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I still cry over. I mean, I'm getting off track here, but I still cry over the Ahsoka Vader like confrontation. I was like, they're like right before they fight. I was like, stupid. I'm crying.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well,
Stop.
before those episodes even happened, I was like on the internet seeing like people drawing pictures of Vader calling her Snips, and I was like, if that happens, I will die.
Die.
Just
Well,
actually fall off his chair and die.
Yeah.
Such a deliberate and good job, and Dave Filoni said they did this on purpose, and it was hard for them to do, but they layered it where he says her name, and it's like Matt Lanter as Anakin, and then it's James Earl Jones as Vader, and then it's Matt Lanter again. I was like, fuck you guys, am I feeling?
Yeah, that would
and
hurt.
Like, they did a really good job, and I was like, and like, I was like, anyway, I'm getting beyond the point, but yeah, I was like, oh my god, I hate you all. Ugh. I was like bawling my eyes out. I was like, "Stop it! Not fair."
So Hera gets on the ship with the drive, and she's got to get it to Yavin. She jumps through the construction ship, taking the entire landing bay with her. That was
great because they're like, "Oh, she'll never get past the blockade." Anyway, I was like, "You don't know her. Fuck you guys. You don't know who this ace pilot is. Fuck you guys. Bet you she will." And then she did that, but it kind of reminded me a little bit to that moment of The Force Awakens where it's like, Rey's like to Han Solo's like, "Go to hyperspace while you're still in the hangar. Is that even possible?" He's like, "I never asked that question until I've already done it," and she just does it. I was like, "Yes, I love it." She went right through the damn thing. I was like, "Yes, Sarah.
Yep.
Yes." I expected no less from her. I was like, yes, that was amazing. I was dying. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah. And I was gonna say something else. Oh, that after she did that, the look on Thrawn's face was actual concern. Because it wasn't like the smugness he usually has, where like, yes, I meant to observe and what. It was like, she actually duped him, and he was upset about it.
Yeah, no, that's what made it even better, because he's like, oh, she won't get past this, blah, 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 and there's more to do. But yeah, she's like, oh, bye. I went right through. And I don't think he expected that, because she took a really, really big risk, but she did it anyway. Yeah. And she managed to do it, and he's like, oh, and he's like, fuck. Did not, so I was like, yeah! They're like, I'm sorry to say, sir, but Captain Syndulla has, escaped. I was like, yes, bye-bye.
Yeah, and she makes it to Yavin. She gives the drive to Mon Mothma.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of episode 1. Oh, right. Price calls an airstrike to bomb the mountains.
Seems a little desperate.
Yeah, but she was very matter of fact, because she even said to her, she's like, you had your chance, I'm going to do it my way now, which made sense, but I was like, oh, they'll still figure a way out of there. But it did make sense as far as a military move is concerned, what she was doing, so.
Yeah. And it would have worked if the Lothwolves didn't have teleportation.
I know.
They activated hyperspace.
Yeah.
They did. No, I was going to say that. So not only did they do that, and they kind of made it look like that, but did anybody else, I noticed that when they're stepping, it's in this kind of star, whatever, but it looked at that kind of empty open space that they used whenever Yoda was going to communicate to Kanan or to Ezra, which is 2 or 3 seasons ago. It's the same empty open space where it's and they're stepping in it, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, wait, is this the same space? What is this? And so I thought that was very fast. I was like, oh, what is that? So,
but why was I right about them being force sensitive?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Forget
and then
the Force
Katie
in
comes up to
spades.
one. He's like, the Force is very centered on them. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, stronger than it is with other animals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then and in the beginning of the next episode, we get the big ship thing that's just burning everything. Harvesting. What is it?
The mining thing? The
The
mining ship? Or whatever it
mining
is?
Yeah. The crawler.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
mining crawler.
because it reminded me of the Jawa sand
It
crawler.
did, yeah,
It
yeah.
did,
yeah,
except
exactly.
it was setting everything on fire.
Well, it's a little different.
And I didn't think of it until they got close to it, but once you were up close and saw it was there was smoke and it decimated just everything. I was like, if Sauron had Star Wars technology, Sauron would build this. This is a Sauron ass machine.
Yes, he's like, yeah.
This is everything Tolkien hated and wrote about as evil. It just I don't know, really just struck me as that Sauron level of badness.
Well, it's going across and it's just decimating anything. It comes across, it's huge, it's big, it's hulking, it's gross, it's it's terrible. So.
And terribly inefficient technically, because they're literally only scraping up the surface and just destroying it. They just want to feed the machine as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it says that they're gathering resources, but I don't see how that's an effective way to gather resources.
It's not.
Nope.
They're just doing it as quick and dirty as possible. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
And they've covered half the planet. Because
Yeah.
they started up where they just were in the northern hemisphere, and they're now in the south. And the mining vessels are still there.
Yeah.
Have we I feel like we've run into the mining guild before. We have, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That was with
they have the TIE fighters that are yellow with the cutout front of the wings.
Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say I do not remember.
Once
Yeah,
they
we've
started
seen-
talking about the mining guild and when the guy was going on and on, I was like, you guys seem familiar. Not specifically those characters, but the mining guild in general.
But just the mining guild. Yeah,
the
we've
fact that they had slaves, and I remembered that as well.
Okay.
I don't know if it was last season or season 2, but I know we've definitely seen it before.
Mm-hmm. I liked the captain. He was funny. Just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
He was funny. Oh my god! I was like, make him stop. Make him.
You know who
everybody.
Seth Green voiced him.
No way!
Yeah, that was Seth Green.
Funny.
That's awesome.
great. That's hilarious.
I love how Ezra mimics him, because they're calling to make sure oh, your ship's okay. They're answer us.
We're all fine here now. Thank
Everybody
you.
turns to Ezra. They're like, "This is your thing. Go ahead." And I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Exactly. I love how it's up to him now. It's like, all right, you're up. So it's like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that actually was, that the two of those individuals we saw were Trandoshans.
Yeah.
Even though Lizard Man didn't look like it, he is a Trandoshan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's same race that Bosk is.
Bosk.
Right? Yeah.
Well, they were basically saying we don't, not every Trandoshan looks like Bosk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they are.
Twi'lek looks like Hera or whatever. Bib Fortuna looks all fucked up. So yeah.
Yeah. So
he is a Twi'lek. So
they got the chance to kind of expand that race, which was cool.
which is cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I love how Ezra mimics him, because at first it is on fucking point, and the longer he does it, the more he loses it. I'm like, Ezra, bring it back around.
Bring me around or just stop, whatever you gotta do. But
Yeah.
no, but
Oh, and they go into the lower decks, and Vizago's there.
I know.
Now I know what happened to him.
You're like, you're here to rescue me. And they're like, oops, not really, but well, we will anyway because we're here, right? No, but it worked out. It worked out. And then he played along. It's kind of like with Hondo. They could never trust him no matter what he does. You know, this actually worked out for them. And he, like, played along with it. And they're like, hey, thanks for not turning us in kind of deal. But it worked out because it got him out, too. So, but yeah, they were really not sure, like, can we trust him? No. Oh, we just gotta see what happens, kind of deal. So, but it worked out.
Mm-hmm. I liked the foreman. Like, that whip was really cool.
It was cool. Oh wait. Oh, and then for that, like, I swear to God, that part where it's like a fight where it's like between him and Zeb. I'm listening to the score and I was like, I swear to God, this person just took, like, inspiration from, like, the scene in Indiana Jones and the original one where it's, like, Indy versus that one big, huge Nazi.
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds like the same effing music. I swear to God, it's the same thing. I was like, oh, they're taking inspiration from that. It's this draw-out fight, and it's, like, this one big guy kind of thing. You gotta get rid of him kind of deal. So anyway, I was like, I know I'm probably losing my mind by saying that, but I was like listening to it. I was like, this sounds very familiar. I think they're doing it on purpose. But that was a good fight, and I thought it was cute too because I was like saying to the other guys, like, see, these are my friends. They're gonna help us out. Blah 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 blah. And like they almost got their asses kicked. They didn't, and it was cool. It was good. It's a good fight.
Yeah, no, I see that now. Like I totally see that. And I was really, like, kind of disappointed that Kanan got, like, knocked out immediately, but that gave Zeb a chance to fight, which we haven't really seen him in an actual fight.
Not in a long time.
In a while.
No, not in a while. No. So I was kind of happy about that because I was like, oh, let's see Zeb kick some ass. I miss it.
And he kicked a lot of ass. Oh, no. Don't look at that. Okay.
But it was a pretty brutal fight, man. Like, that felt like an action movie fight.
Yeah.
Like, there were heads slamming into posts, and, you know, if there was blood allowed in this show, there would have been some injuries, let's just say.
Yeah. And they almost fall off, and it's like the whip thing is like, oh my God. I don't know. I was like going, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I quite liked the Kanan and Zeb adventures.
Yeah, that was great. And like Kanan comes up the last second and grabs. He's like, "You're heavy," you know. But you know, it was all timed very well, and I liked it. And he's like, "Those are my friends. They're here to help me out." Blah blah blah. I thought that was cute. So
I really think Kanan needs to quit skipping arm day.
Yep.
Well, I was just like, use the Force, Kanan. I find myself like saying that to both him and Ezra. I'm just like, use the Force.
Use the Force.
It's not that easy to channel in a situation like that.
I know.
They're Jedi. I expect more.
Yeah, but when they think about,
They're
like,
self-taught Jedi.
it's hard to lift a person.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, they can.
I know.
But think about it this way: like, Kanan's lifted heavy rocks, and like that first episode with Saw. He lifted like a bridge for them, basically, and that's one thing. But like a human or a humanoid that's squirming and alive is a lot harder to focus on. And like it took Kanan a long time to get that rock moving. So like by the time Zeb would have been on the ground if he tried to do.
And he lifted the rock with his feet planted. I feel like it's got to be a lot harder while you're moving to move something with the Force. So
like a push or a pull, that's one thing.
Yeah, I find myself saying that this season a lot. I'm just like, use the Force, Ezra.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
But I'm still liking anytime they pop up with their lightsabers and they do something, they're like, Jedi! And they're like, wait, what the fuck? And then, something's happening. So that's what's happening a lot. A couple times this season, I was like, yep, Jedi, motherfuckers, that's right.
Deal with it.
Deal.
Yep.
So Hera's, at first it's not enough info or like, it's not enough of a reason for the rebellion to send forces to Lothal to stop the production of the defenders.
TIE Defenders.
TIE Defenders.
Yeah.
But Hera gets in there. They're like, it's a closed meeting. She's like, no, I have some inspirational shit to tell y'all right now. And she lays it out. And she convinces them. She's like,
if we do this now, we won't get a chance. I'm sorry to say, as much as I loved all that, it also still reminded me too much of what happens in Rogue One when Jin's trying to inspire them all to do something, and they say no, and it's fine because they go and do their own thing anyway. But I was like, really? Why is it always like no, the answer is no? I was like, come on, guys. Like, I just felt like that felt too of the same tone.
Well,
so it made sense, and ultimately they do agree with her, and they send reinforcements, and we'll see what comes of that in the next episode. So shit's about to go down. But I was like, really? It just felt like the same thing, so I didn't like it for that respect. But otherwise, I was like, yeah, no, get shit done. Let's go do this thing, you know?
It's they're looking at the entire rebellion. We're really only looking at a fraction of it, and they have a lot more to worry about. They have this unknown factor that they're looking at off in the distance, and their forces are low. They have to be conservative.
But yeah, I mean, at least the way and that's no fault of theirs. It was the way Rogue One kind of set that up in the sense of like it just felt too familiar in the way that they did that scene. But it was still a good, compelling scene, and like Hera was great, and I liked it. I just felt like I was like, oh, is this what always going to come to? It's like, oh, well, we don't have the full support, or this can't be happening, and blah, blah, blah. So meanwhile, you fast forward a couple of years, and you have like, you know, what we again, it's a perspective thing, which is a good point, like you're saying, Christina. But like you fast forward and like, you know, the original films as we see them, that's one view of the rebellion. They're like doing shit, you know, like one after the other. It's not like there's no talk about it. But to be fair about that, too, that's one little subsect that they're dealing with, because Mon Mothma's the overall person looking at the whole rebellion, whereas, like, whatever we saw just had to do with Luke, Han, and Leia, and, like, Leia has a lot of influence. We don't know how much in the grand scheme of it that she has, so... Yeah. It's an interesting concept, though, because she's always like, no, this is what we're going to do, and that's it. And she was very much, you know, a leader in that respect as well, a military leader, so I always found that cool.
Yeah, and I think what we see from Mon Mothma and the reasons why she says no to these things is because it's not her decision alone. Like, she decides with the council.
Right.
But also, she might be saying no a little against what she wishes, so when people like Hera and Jin speak up, she really says, that's more kind of what I'd like to do. Hopefully you can convince the rest of the people to agree, and then I'll agree. And then they do it. Yeah. So, well, at least with Hera, she did get the support of them eventually. We know that she does, because she's like, hey, we're coming to you, kids. By the way, heads up. And then with Jin, her and Cassian and a few others just decide, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go get these plans, and that's it. Fuck it. Exactly. Yeah. So, you know. Yeah. So there is a difference. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure which is crazier, Hera's plan or Jin's plan. I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll find out how Hera's plan goes. We know how the other plan works out, so. We do. But they did that as like a suicide mission. They knew they just had to get in and get the plans for the Death Star, which is a pretty big deal. For Hera, it's like, we need to see if we can overtake the fall and take it back. Yeah. I don't know that they'll be able to. We'll try. Well, I think the plan is to just blow up that facility. I don't think taking back Lothal at this point is an option. I think it might be a possibility, but I don't think that's the plan. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, too. They just gotta get rid of that TIE fighter thing. Yeah, blow that. Yeah. Defenders.
They don't have a chance against those offenders, so that's... If they can do that, then they can focus on other things, but... They're not, like you said, they're not going to liberate Lothal. It's impossible.
But they can certainly disrupt some shit.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know. The unknown here is what Kanan has to find. So, yeah, maybe they blow the facility up. They finish that goal. But I mean, Mon Mothma was saying that there's an Imperial evacuation. She doesn't say specifically that it's for Lothal, but I think we're left to assume that it's Lothal. So whatever the Empire is doing there is potentially dangerous to the life of the planet, which might be connected to whatever Kanan has to find there.
Yeah. Well, no, when she said, oh, they're deliberately evacuating Imperial staff, I was like, well, that made me think of, like, the Death Star. They're like, you get out because we're about to test this super weapon. So, but I don't know that we're far along enough where they're to that point, because the last time we were talking, they did it was, like, the Kyber crystal and that kind of stuff and what have you. So we'll see how far along that progresses and how it intersects with what we know about the storyline of Rogue One. But... yeah, and then when she said that, my first thought was, no, they're testing the Death Star and want everybody out. That belongs to them. So I was like,
they might not. It might not even be a Death Star test, but it might be a Kyber crystal test.
Yeah,
like maybe it's not even on the Death Star yet.
I mean, when they did it to Jeddah, that wasn't the whole planet. That was just Jeddah sitting there, just testing it to see, and it obliterated the entire city. Didn't even matter. So same thing.
Yeah. Cool. So next episode is called Rebel Assault. Hera leads a courageous attack against Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces, but when things go awry, her battle to win must become a daring escape if she is to survive. That's a very Hera-centric synopsis.
You can do it, Hera. I believe in you.
Guys, there's X-Wings.
Yeah.
And I want you to know something. These previews are only like 40 seconds because I guess they can't show anything because it'll be spoilers. It's going to be good.
X-Wings. Alright, so John, where can the people find you fawning over X-Wings?
You can find me fawning over X-Wings. Wedge is going to be in an X-Wing.
Finally.
About damn time. Anyway, you can find me at No More on Twitter. Loving that.
Sam, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Likely. Woohoo!
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Cleomoto, and you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, YouTube, and Twitch. We put our VODs on YouTube. If you want to see us live, go to Twitch. Rebels may or may not be live until a certain time in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Follow us to find out. Bye, guys. I can find the damn button.